we can look at it how there's no workouts on this past performance, unfortunately, but um, maybe he'll improve. I just don't really get the sense that Union Rags is the horse he's gonna step it up and he's gonna absolutely blow him out or anything. Like he's gonna come out of the Kentucky Derby and improve. I just don't get that sense from him, even though he did have that troubled trip. I just don't really see it here. The mile and a half, mile and a quarter, the extra quarter of a mile added from the Kentucky Derby may benefit him, but I just don't really see it from Union Rags. I mean, we'll see. They obviously skipped the Preakness for a reason, aiming for the Belmont, but right now I just don't really sense it from Union Rags. At a gun, 30-1, another long shot here. Julian Leparoux gets a mount. The really only thing I could look at here is trying to go off how he's handled graded company, and he just hasn't. He lost in the Arkansas Derby to Bodemeister and Secret Circle and Sabercat. He finished fifth in that field of 11, lost by 11 in the corner. Then again, Bodemeister won by 9.5 lengths. So he was in the running there for second. Leparoux decides to take him. He won with him on a muddy track at Churchill Downs on the same day of the Kentucky Derby. I mean, he's a favorite. Looking at how he's raced against graded company, it just doesn't impress me. You look at the Arkansas Derby, the Rebel, and the Kentucky Jockeys Cup, I believe is what that is. Just looking at how he's run against graded company, just doesn't really show to me that he can handle this. I mean, it's a 12-horse field. There's much more class in this race. So skip at a gun. We'll go down to Dullahan. Dullahan was one of my, I think, not my surprise, but I kind of liked him going into the Kentucky Derby. He showed he was coming quite strong there on the outside. Javier Castellano is going to get them out today. Kenta Sormel decides to opt out. You look to the right, you could see all these problems he's had in his race, his past performances. Broke in, bump 7 wide at the quarter, unprepared start time, bump start, late gain, steadied. You see all these faults. You see all these little red arrows. Dullahan, you've seen him, with his turf. He's got good turf pedigree in the Bluegrass. He won the Bluegrass. Came into Churchill Downs. He ran well in the Kentucky Derby. He came closing. He was 7 wide. A mile and a half might help him. Might help his cause. 5-1 is a pretty good price. If you can get anything higher than 4-1 on Dullahan, I think you'll be sitting quite well. But I think he'll probably go off around near the 2-1 mark. 5-1 seems a bit high to me, but I'm going to say that he's 2-1 or 5-2, somewhere around there. Just seeing his closing kick and seeing his ratings from his past 4 starts, I think the longer he goes, the better. And I think the mile and a half might be good for him. But like I said, you never know. A mile and a quarter might have been his, might have been his limit. But a mile and a half, horses can handle it. Horses cannot. You never know. Now we go to number 6, Ravello's Boy, 50-1 morning line. Look at this guy coming in from Florida, from Calder Racecourse, Gulfstream Park in Tampa Downs. He ran in the Tampa Derby. He finished 5th, and I can see why he's 50-1. For me, when I see a horse coming from Florida, I don't mind them unless they really proven something. But just looking at this horse, he just can't. He's faced great company down there in Florida, but has not, shown it. I guess you could say that he can handle even simple graded company in Florida. And unless something happens there, unless he just absolutely runs the race of his life, Ravello's Boy is a quick throw out. Hall of Famer Alex Solis gets aboard. I mean, he's got Lawyer Ron is his daddy, I guess you could say, his sire. But nothing going for Ravello's Boy, so that's a throw out right off the bat. Another 50-1 shot. What do you know? 516, home track, raced at Belmont. He's raced at Saratoga. He's a New York horse. He gets Rosie, excuse me if I pronounce this right. I know it's Rosie Napravink. I believe that's how you say it. Probably murdered that. But 516. Look at this maiden special weight. Finally broke his maiden 2 back. with Eddie Castro. Ion Jacob's a good horse. I remember watching that horse back in April. Watching this race, I might have, but Ion Jacob sounds familiar because I know I've watched that horse run before. Just there's nothing that screams this horse has a chance. So quickly passing up on 516. And another 50 to 1. Like I said, I'm looking at this for the first time, and Kentis Sormel decides to rise this horse. It's Gowanna Star Dwi. Now, if you look at Kentis Sormel, who rode a Dullahan, it's obvious that Dale Romans wants Javier Castellano aboard. So there you go. Gowanna Star Dwi, I believe that's how it's pronounced, is let's see here, another horse that has been raced constantly in nothing but maiden special weights, and finally broke the maiden 2 back and won an allowance optional claiming. When I see this, I think it's just local horses that believe, hey, the horse seems to be handling the Belmont track well, let's just throw him in the Belmont. Just gonna quickly pass the horse. I don't see anything here from him. Even though he's had a lot of seconds, I'll give him that. 5 seconds in his 9 lifetime starts. I just don't see it. I just can't. Move on to the Zayat stables. The Bob Baffert horse, who's Bodemeister surprisingly not, or not surprising that Bodemeister has skipped the Belmont specifically, because I'd be surprised to see that horse stretch out to a mile and a half. I thought a mile and a quarter was a little bit too much. So it's already on their plans. No surprise there, but moving on. Mike Smith decides to come in and ride for Painter. Painter won allowance race. He's ran in the Santa Anita Derby with I'll Have Another, lost by 3 3/4 with Martin Garcia. Usually for me, when I see Martin Garcia and Bob Baffert, they're usually a strong tandem. But Mike Smith, nonetheless, a Hall of Fame rider, been riding for Bob Baffert. This horse went into Pimlico, won allowance 50,000, won quite easily, gate to wire by 5 3/4. Was a big favorite, 1 to 9. You can see there next to the R's, next to the little star. And you know, Bob Baffert, I gotta give him credit. He's a great trainer. There's no denying that. A Hall of Fame trainer. Something about this horse. I think that's why they put him at 8 to 1. In my book, looking at how he's run, seeing how he easily handles an allowance field, and now they want to bring him to the Belmont, run a mile and a half, and stretch him out. 8 to 1's a bit too much, too nice. I probably would go 10 to 1, maybe 12 to 1 in morning line for this horse. But for me, this horse, another speed. Speed can handle the long distance, but then again, you can never know. It's just a guessing game, because you're getting the mile and a half distance. It's just, you don't know. You just don't. But Painter, not a bad choice. Maybe he can handle the long distance. He did open up in that allowance race. Maybe the field was tiring. You'd have to go look at the replay and see how that race turned out. So now we're coming down to the last 3 horses here. Optimizer, a horse who's raced both in the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. Gets Corey Nakatani back aboard. Lost by 15.5 lengths. Finished 6th in the field 11. Then again, it was pretty much just Bodemeister and I'll Have Another at the stretch. That's, like I said, the easiest exact you could probably bet on. But this horse has been racing in mile plus races. 11 lifetime starts. Only 1 win in his maiden, which came back on his first start at Saratoga. Just look at all these double-digit losses. Arkansas Derby, 20.5, 12 lengths, 15.5. I mean, the longer he goes, he just doesn't really seem to show it. He doesn't show that kick that he once had, that he shows from some of his past better performances, I guess you could say. So quickly, Optimizer, throw him out. So now we go down to the last 2. I'll Have Another. I really hope he can do it. I've really been rooting for this horse throughout the Triple Crown. Mario Gutierrez, Doug O'Neill, the Redhams, Paul Redham. They call themselves Redham Racing now. Won the Preakness, obviously, and Kentucky Derby. Ever since the Beverly Lewis back on February, this horse and Mario Gutierrez, they've been nailing it. They've been hitting that hammer, swinging that hammer, hitting the nail on the head. It's just been working well. I mean, the longer this horse goes, I think the better it might work out for them. You know me, I'm going to be biased and say I really hope this horse wins. I think the distance can benefit him. Um, we'll just have to see. Like I said, the Belmont, this is the race. This is the race where you can get a long shot. A horse that, looks on paper that can't handle this type of class or distance. But, horses, when they're asked to go a little longer, they just might, you just never know. You never know. So let's go to the last horse here. Let me see if I can pronounce this. Maya Donis. With Ramon Dominguez. Eddie Trujillo usually rides this horse. The horse is raced in Monmouth Park, Aqueduct, racing from Pimlico. Has graded stakes races. Doesn't show much. 20-1. I'm gonna have to throw him out automatically. I mean, I don't see anything. You look at his last race. He might be up front. He seems to be a speed horse. You could see him up towards the front end when he has those good finishes. So he's definitely going to be up towards the front. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But this is the first time I'm looking at it. I'm going to obviously be reading for. I'll have another. Probably one horse. I'd say that a long shot will be the one horse. Street Life. That's going to be my long shot pick with Jose Lescano. That's my long shot. I don't know. I just seeing that he's raced on Belmont, and he showed a good closing kick in the Peter Pan. I think he's a good choice. I think so. He was wide. I think he can do something. I think he can come in the money. He'd be good to add to exactas and trifectas. Definitely a horse to keep in mind. Union Rags, if you want to be safe rather than sorry, always got to add Union Rags. You never know what you're going to get from him, but I just don't see him really coming. I'd prefer him in my trifectas. I'll be honest and say I would not add him into my exactas. Trying to look for an Dolahan, you got to add him as well. I think he'll be bet down. Painter, you will see what happens there. Maybe he dies off the second or third. But my top choice, I hate being a fan favorite. I usually don't like going with the fan favorites. I like being a little bit of a rebel, but I'll have another. I really hope he can do it. It'd be nice to see it done. It'd be great for the sport of horse racing to see a horse win the Triple Crown. It'd be amazing. Hopefully I could see him race again, because I remember seeing him race back on last year on I'll Have Another, finishing second to Creative Cause in the Best Pal back on August 7th of last year. I've only seen this horse race once, but I would love to see this horse race this summer. Hopefully I'll get to see him live. Hopefully I'll get to see him in the Winter Circle. You never know. But I'll Have Another. I'm going to be rooting for him. And my long shot pick for the Belmont, just got to go with Street Life. Seems like a good logical pick for me. I just see that he's been improving, and seeing that he's had a previous good trip, a good performance on the track, I think the 1.5 miles could help him and benefit him. So 11-1 is, I guess that'll be my exacta box. Try box 13511. 13511 Street Life, Union Rags, Dolahan, and I'll Have Another. Feel free to add in the 9-horse Painter. Be interesting to see how he can handle this field. It's not a strong Belmont field, I know, but I think it can work out for I'll Have Another. Doesn't matter. Winning 3 in a row of this caliber is impossible. Obviously not impossible, but hard enough itself. So there we go. We'll be rooting for I'll Have Another than the Belmont. Good luck, I'll Have Another. I'll be rooting for you. Can't wait. Just hope he can get that Triple Crown. Hopefully we can get it done. He's been perfect in the year of 2012. Can he go 5 for 5 in the 2012? But more importantly, can he grab the Triple Crown? Rooting for you, buddy.